Now, we are going to bring up in our guy, Animarak, right now. Animarak, our UFC expert, joining us. Animarak, I would like to have you on the show. I'd also like you to see our fight analyst play of the day so we can talk about that as well. I'd like to combine these two. But first and foremost, let's bring in our guy, Animarak at Maximus in 3D, star of the Die Hard MMA podcast, joining us right now from Phoenix, Arizona, by way of Minnesota. Animarak, how you doing today, man?
Doing great, Jimmy. What is going on, man? I can't wait for the weekend. Another shot at redemption on these UFC picks. Let's get this thing going.
Let's get this thing going. Let's get this thing going. Let's do it. So I've been told that you will be able to hear our fight analyst play of the day. So why don't we start that? But before we do, can you please lay the stage for us? Where are we for UFC this weekend?
So once again, we are on the other side of the world. The UFC is headed to Abu Dhabi, and that translates to the father of the gazelle. I think one of the coolest things that they are known for is they have the one and only, or the world's first, Ferrari World. It's a complete indoor theme park dedicated to Ferraris and the stuff you can do with them. So that's pretty freaking cool. And they've got ATMs that actually dispense gold over there, which we're looking to make some gold this weekend, baby. Let's go.
Let's go. Let's get that gold this weekend. I love that breakdown. Let's start by analyzing the fight analyst video and then compare that with your action that we will break down. So right now, let's start by seeing what our guy, the fight analyst play of the day is. We'll start by discussing that with Animarak, and then we'll break down Animarak's looks. Let's go. Rafa, can we see this fight analyst video, please?
What's up, everyone? It's a fight analyst here, and I'm back for my best bets for UFC 242. We're coming off 4 straight wins in the last 4 UFC cards, and we're looking to keep this momentum going at UFC 242 in Abu Dhabi. We have a great fight on tap with Khabib Nurmagomedov taking on Dustin the Diamond Poirier for the lightweight championship. This is one you're definitely not going to want to miss. We're looking to cash our bets on 2 plays. I normally just give out 1, but I'm taking 2 that I'm very confident in. The first play, we're going to take Andrea Lee by decision at plus 110. We are getting great odds here, guys. She's won all 3 of her UFC fights by decision. 3 of her last 4 have gone to a decision, and she's just been outpointing, outstriking, outgrappling every single girl that she's faced, and JoJo is not gonna put any test to that. She's really no force here at 125 pounds. She's coming off a loss to Caitlin Chukagian, who is nothing to write home about. I know she's one of the top contenders, but she's someone that's very beatable, who I think Andrea Lee could beat quite easily. I'm taking Andrea Lee here to win by unanimous decision, and very much outpoint her, outstrike her on the feet, and outgrapple her. She might get taken down, but she'll get right back up. She's faced much better grapplers than JoJo here. So we have Andrea Lee at plus 110 by decision. We are also looking to take Curtis Blades and Shamil. I can't say his last name, but we're taking Curtis Blades and Shamil over 1.5 rounds at minus 145. This is an absolute steal here, guys. Blades in 3 of his last 4 have gone over 1.5 rounds, and Shamil has gone over 1.5 rounds in 5 of his last 6. I love taking over 1.5 rounds. It's very hard to finish someone in 7 minutes, 7.5 minutes, especially 2 guys that like to grapple. Blades, he's averaging over 6 takedowns per 15 minutes, so you know he's gonna be grappling the entire match, and Shamil is definitely gonna be trying to defend it the entire time. So those are my 2 plays. We have Andrea Lee by decision at plus 110, and we have Curtis Blades and Shamil over 1.5 rounds at minus 145. That's what I have for you guys. Let's get this money, and I'll talk to you guys later.
There he is, the fight analyst. Animarak, let's start with the fight analyst 2 breakdowns. What do you think of what he's on?
Well, I've actually got the Andrea Lee and JoJo fight in my card as well. Do you want to save that one until we run into it? I can comment on the other one since I don't have a play on it.
No, hammer them both. I love that that's on your card. I find that extremely interesting because I know Fat Fist likes it too. So what's your move on it?
Okay, so I'm going head to head with these boys. My girl JoJo has been incredibly underrated her entire time in the UFC. And while I'm a fan of KGB myself, the hype has made this line way too wide. We're getting 2-1 on JoJo, and she is a skilled, impressive striker. Before she got into the UFC, she had a 19-3 Muay Thai professional career. So she is no stranger to duking it out. She is moving up to 125, and she's really settled in her new weight division. She's taking strength and conditioning seriously for the first time in her career. And just watching the weigh-ins this morning, you can see the difference on her. The girl is adding muscle. She's not having trouble cutting weight anymore. She's going to be better and improving. He made the comment that she lost her last fight to Caitlin Chookagian. The judges may have given it to Chookagian, but JoJo did not lose that fight. Go back and rewatch it. Trust me, she won that fight. She outscored Chookagian on every single statistic that there is. This fight is a whole lot closer than people are giving it credit for. I do like that he took KGB by decision, because if she's going to win, that's how she gets it done, and he's getting even money on that. So good work on him for getting that line, but I'm going to roll the dice. I got plus 200 on my girl JoJo, and I wouldn't be surprised at all if she causes KGB problems. Andrea Lee does not like it when other girls pressure her moving forward, and JoJo is all she does is get in her opponent's face striking, and she's going to pack some more heat this fight than we've seen her in the past. So get ready for a war.
Ooh, man. Eric Rosas says Animarak is fire. Top Set says, yes, baby, my man. But Nasty Nate says KGB wins. Rich G says, give me KGB. Oh, man, this is exciting. Going heads up with a fight analyst. Now, I mean, Animarak has big balls, and we see it all the time. He takes big plus lines, and he does it without fear. And he's on JoJo Calderwood at plus 200. Ooh, shit. What do you think of the other play that the fight analyst is on?
So how you say that last name is Abdurahimov, Shamil Abdurahimov. And I love it. That's a great play. The only thing that I would caution is that Curtis Blades, when he gets this thing to the ground, he's a complete beast. And Shamil Abdurahimov, he is a good grappler himself, but he's not a very good defensive grappler. So if he gets underneath Curtis Blades, he could get TKO'd out here. So I kind of steered clear from that one. I did lean to the over 1.5 myself, but I didn't feel comfortable actually pulling the trigger on it. I like the over a whole lot more than I like the under, so I support that play.
Supporting that play and going heads up on the other one. Ooh, I like it. Let's talk about some of the looks on your card. We have Faris Ziam versus Don Madge. Madge opens up as a minus 180 favorite. 5-cent move towards Ziam. What's your look here?
I am all over Don Madge, Jimmy. He opened up a little bit lower earlier in the week, and I got him at minus 160. Money's been coming in on Madge. So Ziam is a late notice replacement against Don Madge. And Don Madge was getting ready for Magomed Mustafayev, who is an ATT product, who is 15-2. This dude is a very well-worn fighter. He is a very highly skilled, highly ranked fighter, and this was going to be an absolute battle. Ziam is a prospect. He's probably got a high ceiling. I actually think he does belong in the UFC, but this is a short notice, late replacement fight, flying across the world to make that debut in Abu Dhabi of all places. He has no time to acclimate to the local temperature, and it's hot as hell over there. Whereas Don Madge is in shape. He's ready to go. Check his Instagram out. He has never been in better condition. He was looking to step in here and play spoiler against Mustafayev, and I was going to take him as a dog in that fight. I love him as a favorite in this fight, and I'm on him at minus 160.
Backing him at minus 160. Nice job there. Let's move on to Zach Cummings up against Omari Akhmedov. Akhmedov opening up at minus 140. There's been a 10-cent move towards the underdog Cummings. What's your look here?
I'm going to be on Akhmedov in this fight. Zach Cummings, honestly, has not impressed me. He used to be a good fighter, and he did some good things earlier in his career, but recently he has been getting slower and slower. His output has been dipping off every single fight, and I think his last couple wins, he got a little lucky. So he's going to move into Omari Akhmedov's hometown here. He's going to have a hometown crowd push. Both these guys are big, lumbering, slow. If this is a relatively low-paced striking match, the rounds are going to go to the hometown boy. You're going to see that a lot in my breakdowns this week, is that we are not fading the Russians or the Muslims in Abu Dhabi. They are going to get these extra pushes, and I think this is a very close, evenly matched fight, and Akhmedov is just slightly better basically everywhere except for the takedown defense.
There we go. There we go. We are off and rolling, backing Akhmedov up against Zach Cummings. Let's move on to Sarah Moras versus Liana Jojua. Jojua opening up at minus 185. A big move towards the underdog. A big move, a 30-cent move towards the underdog. How do you see this one banging out?
So it feels like that information may be a little bit off, Jimmy. I'm not sure when that line move started for you guys, but Mariah's actually opened up as a plus 160 underdog, and I missed that opening line. A ton of money flooded in on her. There has been some buyback on Jojua lately, but I agree with the initial money here. I am on Sarah Moras. She goes by Cheesecake, and I love it. Give me some cheesecake in this fight, man. We got her at plus 125, and she is an intelligent grappler. She's a great fighter. She's on a 3-fight losing streak, but all 3 fighters that she's lost to are legit up-and-coming UFC prospects. The girl she's facing, this is her UFC debut, so she's just dipping her toe into this talent pool, and she is slow and really not that fluid on the feet. She's got really herky-jerky 1, 2, 3 type striking, very limited. If this thing goes to the ground, Marias is going to be able to hold her own or be able to lock up a submission. She's submitted better fighters than this before. I like to fade people who are stepping up in competition, and I think that Marias is probably the one that should be the favorite in this fight. I think the line should be flipped, so we're getting value on her as a dog. Fun fact, this will be the first ever women's MMA fight over in Abu Dhabi, so really kind of a historical thing here. I'm all over Cheesecake, man. Give it to me.
You're right. There's been a wild move in the market on Cheesecake. Opened up plus 151 at Pinnacle. Got all the way down to plus 114 on the 23rd of August and still 24th of August. And then started coming all the way back to plus 140. Wow, that's wild stuff. All right, let's move on to the Felder bout. Sorry, let me get this off of the screen. Let's move on to the Paul Felder, Edson Barboza. Barboza opening up at minus 155, now minus 134. A big move to the underdog, Paul Felder. What do you think here, Animarak?
Real quick, before we move on to that one, everyone should go check out Jojo's Instagram after the show. The UFC signed her for more than just the reason that she's kind of a decent fighter. Girl's thick. So moving on to Paul Felder and Barboza. I love this play. We are all over Paul Felder here. Barboza is on his way down. He's in the twilight of his career. He's gone 1-3 in his last 4, and several of those have been by brutal knockout. He's absorbed so many significant strikes in his last 4 or 5 fights that it's unreal. He is a staple of the division. He's always been a top contender, just that close to getting a title shot, never could quite do it, and he's run into a buzzsaw the last couple of fights. I think his chin is completely shot. He's built for speed, he's explosive, and don't get me wrong, Barboza can finish any fight at any time from anywhere. But this is a rematch. Paul Felder a couple of years ago went a full 3 rounds with Barboza and was able to take everything he dished out and keep on coming. We're going to get a better version of Paul Felder. He's bigger, he's stronger, he hits harder, and boy, does he have elbows. I think he's going to put Barboza on his back or pin him up against the fence where there's no escape, and he's going to land one of those big bombs on him, and Barboza just doesn't have the chin to hold up to that punishment anymore. I love Paul Felder as an underdog here. We got plus 135.
Backing the dog here with Felder and got him before the market move. Great job. Let's go to the big fight. We got Khabib now. Khabib all over the place here in the market. Pinnacle minus 355, some minus 350s. Bookmaker at minus 425. Bovada at minus 500. Intertops at minus 500. The big match. The Khabib fight. Break it down for us, Animarak. How are you handling this?
Champion versus champion. Not a whole lot needs to be said about Khabib. We all know what he does. He comes in and he smashes people. He mauls them on the ground. They don't have any answer to his wrestling, and eventually they throw in the towel and offer up their necks. It's what he does to everybody. Dustin Poirier, on the other hand, is a guy who has worked tooth and nail for every single thing that he has. He has punched his way to an interim title, and he did that over the 145-pound champion, Max Holloway, in a fight that was very, very impressive to me. Jimmy, you talked earlier about me taking big balls plays. I'm on Dustin Poirier at plus 360. I think he's going to do what no man has been able to do before, and he will dethrone Khabib Nurmagomedov. There is something that you cannot quantify about Dustin Poirier. His belief and his will to be the best fighter in the world is something that's been uncrackable by anybody. Every time he takes a loss, he comes back stronger. And what he proved to me in that Max Holloway fight is that he's got the cardio to go 25 minutes with an absolute cardio machine. Max Holloway may be the one person on the planet who's got better 25-round minute cardio than Khabib does. And Dustin took everything he had and punched him in the face even harder and won that fight running away. He is a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belt. He's got a very underrated ground game. So just because Khabib can take him down does not mean that he'll be a fish out of water in this case. He'll be able to stay safe. He'll be able to get back to his feet. And when Khabib inevitably slows down in round 2 or 3, Dustin will be the fresher fighter. Dustin will be the one to pour on the punishment. And I don't know if Khabib will be able to hold up in those later rounds. Dustin may even squeak away with a decision, winning the later 3 rounds once Khabib can no longer take him down. Poirier should never be a 3-1 underdog to anybody. I'm on Dustin Poirier.
Woo, shit. That's a big balls bet. Avi Gold says Clint has big balls. Andre Eric wants to give you 100 to 1 on Justin. I wouldn't push that too far, Andre Eric. Wow.
I'll take it.
Yeah. Jonathan Suji says, sorry, but Khabib is winning. Wow, Clint. Clint, we got to roll. We're going along here. And it's my fault. Just got too caught up in all this stuff. You have a parlay for us as well. Can you break that down as fast as possible?
I will go as quick as I can, Jimmy. Usually I break these things down and I take as close to even money or just a little better. We are swinging for the fences. I'm coming off 2 losing weeks because of some bad luck. We're down about 9 units. We're going to get it all back in one shot here. We are going to parlay Don Madge at minus 160, Cummins Akhmedov over 2.5 at minus 165, Sato versus Muhammad over 2.5 at minus 265, Taleb Saliakov over 2.5 at minus 170. And then we are going to anchor that thing with my boy Paul Felder at plus 135. That's going to give you a payout of 1242, 12.4221. And we're going to risk 1 unit and try and get all that money we lost the last couple weeks back in one quick go.
There it is, a big 1241 parlay from our guy, Animarak. Animarak, we got to put a bow on this show, my guy. Where can we find you on Twitter, and tell us a little bit about your podcast?
At Die Hard MMA Podcast for my MMA content. We break these things down all in depth over there. At Maximus in 3D if you want to follow me personally with all my nerdy bullshit that I'm into. Thank you for having me on the show, Jimmy. I loved being here. Good luck, everybody. The fights are at 2 p.m. Eastern time tomorrow. So they will be starting early. I'm going to wake up first thing in the morning, grab a coffee, and sit down to watch people punch each other with an omelet.